Alright, I guess third time is a charm, because after two failed attempts of screwing this up, I guess I got it to work the third time. So, alright, I'm here with Warren's Vlog. You should know my name by now. If you don't, then you're slow. But anyway, this is Warren's Vlog, episode 26. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for Money in the Bank tonight. I am excited. I'm one of few that is going to be watching Money in the Bank tonight and not watching the basketball game. Mostly because I'm not really a basketball fan to begin with. But even if I had the slightest interest in basketball, wrestling is my first love. So that's what I'm going to be watching tonight. What's up, Matt? How you doing? All right, so I'm reviewing Money in the Bank 2013. Also, wait, before I get started, quick shout out to Chris Warren and his family. If you don't know who Chris Warren is, he was the lead singer in the DX band. He was the guy that said, "Break it down." He did that, and then he did My Time, Triple H's old theme in 1999. He recently passed away, so my prayers go to his family, and, yeah. Alright, so before I actually get started with Money in the Bank 2013, the event I just watched, I want to drop some history on y'all and throw a couple statistical or a couple stats your way as well. I'm not so that way I can just knock this out of the way on this video. So when I do other Money in the Bank pay-per-views, like the one I'm going to do tonight, and any other pay-per-view I review, I won't have to go through this again. So obviously these stats I'm going to give you are going to be oh no, Tom John, you're not gonna break my train of thought again. Not gonna happen. So, Money in the Bank, the match originated in 2005. Kayfabe, it was Chris Jericho's idea, but I'm assuming it was a collaboration of Chris Jericho and whoever the head writer was for Raw at that time. It debuted at WrestleMania 21. And has been a yearly tradition ever since. It was a yearly tradition at WrestleMania until WrestleMania 26, which was in 2010. Then that year it got its own pay-per-view. There's been 16 matches. There's been 16 winners. Now, I omitted the WWE title match that John Cena won, which was technically a Money in the Bank match, but it wasn't for the Money in the Bank briefcase. So technically, there's been 17, but I omitted that one. So there's been 16 matches, 16 winners. 2 have failed. The first person that failed to cash in was John Cena. John Cena won the match by disqualification via interference from the Big Show. So Cena won the match, but he did not win the title. And of course, we all know about Damien Sandow, and I'm going to get into Damien Sandow later on in this video because this was the event where he won his first Money in the Bank, and that will be the last time anyone would ever care about Damien Sandow. That was until that's an interesting question, Tom. I don't see it happening though, because I don't think anyone could just randomly enter a match and win the briefcase. But that's an interesting thought. As I was saying, I just lost my train of thought. I should have waited to answer that question. But I was talking about Damien Sandow. Well, let me just go ahead and jump into the event here. So Money in the Bank 2013 is special to me because I was there live for it. I took a weekend and I got a hotel in New Jersey. Those of you that are geographically efficient know where New Jersey is located. It's right next to the PA border. And Pennsylvania is right there across that George Washington Bridge. So I took a weekend. I got a hotel out in New Jersey, and I had a wonderful time out there. Spent the whole weekend there. And I enjoyed the event, but this was the first time I actually watched the event since I was there live. So, first match of the night, which I will not be rating because, as you guys know, I don't do ratings for pre-show matches. But it was a fantastic match. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins of The Shield defending the tag titles against the Usos. Easily one of the best tag matches of the year. And I would seriously tell you to go back and watch that pre-show match because it was absolutely awesome. It should have been on the main show. And I think that they had the attitude of, well, we're not in the main show, but we're still going to steal this bitch. And that's exactly what those four men did. An absolutely incredible tag team match. And a little personal moment for me, I got to see myself on camera when Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins held up the tag titles because I'm a mark for myself. So, match kicks off. After that tag title match, Dean Ambrose made his entrance and kind of just waited in the ring. And then Fandango made his entrance, and then they did the whole Money in the Bank package with the intro video and all that, and the pyrotechnics. And Fandango was dancing in the ring. They announced Fandango and they announced Dean Ambrose. Now, right off the bat, here's my problem with this match. You got two tag teams in this match, along with Ambrose, Fandango, and Wade Barrett. And that's okay. Okay, I don't have a problem with that per se. But why the hell did they come out together? Like, that just, it made no sense to me at all. Like, maybe you want to, I don't know, save time. I get that. But there were no time constraints. I mean, there's time constraints, but it was at the beginning of the event. So why have these tag teams come out together? That annoyed the hell out of me. And then why give off this idea that these tag teams are going to work together throughout the entire match, only to have Damien Sandow turn on Cody Rhodes? But they didn't really turn on him, though. And I'm going to get to that. I made some notes here. Wow. I mean, I basically just wrote down spots in this match. And Cesaro gave Cody Rhodes a gut-wrench suplex on a ladder, which was absolutely sickening. I mean, it was just the sickest thud. It was sick seeing it visually. It was sick hearing it. That was an awesome spot. Cesaro, like, legit Mortal Kombat Barrett. Like, Barrett was coming off the ladder. Cesaro uppercutted him in midair. That was cool. Cody Rhodes, I wrote down, was the MVP of this match, for sure. Because Cody Rhodes was, quite frankly, fucking shit up. Cody Rhodes was just on fire. JBL got stumped. And I'm not going to jump on JBL for this because he's not a play-by-play commentator. He's a color commentator. Cody Rhodes hit a muscle buster, which is Samoa Joe's maneuver. He hit it on Cesaro on a ladder that was propped up in the corner. And JBL was like, I don't know what to call it, but effective. And I guess that's what I would expect a color commentator to say. Also, JBL exposed the business, as if the business isn't exposed enough these days. JBL said on commentary that, because Jack Swagger was in this match as well, and JBL was like, you know, back in 2010 when Jack Swagger won the title or won the Money in the Bank briefcase, he held onto it for 2 days before cashing in. Now, insiders know that SmackDown is filmed on Tuesday, and WrestleMania was Sunday. So JBL gave that away, and then Michael Cole immediately corrected JBL by saying, well, Jack Swagger waited until Friday Night SmackDown to cash in. So it's little stuff like that that I pick up on. I already talked about the pop that Cody got, the fact that Cody was on fire during this match. I enjoyed Cesaro and Swagger's human ladder gimmick until, you know, Cody Rhodes drop kicked him. Cody Rhodes is everywhere in this match. It makes me pissed that Cody didn't win. Cody even got opened up hard way by Ambrose. Cody and Ambrose were fighting, trading shots on top of the ladder. Cody was busted open, I mean legit, on top of that ladder until the Shield came out and dragged Cody off the ladder. Then the Usos came out. And it's weird because even though I was there live, I forgot all this interference happened. I really did until watching it. So I'm glad I actually rewatched this match before reviewing it so I'd have a much better perspective on the event. But so we had the Usos, we had the rest of the Shield get involved, a couple other guys. And it all led to Cody Rhodes pushing Dean Ambrose off of the ladder to all of them. Now, everyone else was out. Damien Sandow was hiding. Cody Rhodes climbs the ladder. Damien Sandow knocks him off and takes the briefcase. And, you know, Cole, being the face announcer, oh, Damien Sandow turned on his partner. They were the best of friends. Da-da-da-da-da. But did he really turn on him, though? Did Damien Sandow really turn on him? I mean, it's every man for himself in that ladder match. Now, I don't care if you had the two tag teams in there or not. It's every man for himself. It's the same thing where you had the triple threat match with Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and John Cena at Survivor Series 2009, and Michaels super kicked Triple H before the match started. Actually, right when the bell rang. Michaels didn't turn on Triple H. It was every man for himself. And Michaels was just establishing that earlier on in the match. I felt like Damian Sandow, yeah, he did it. He did the heel thing by turning on Cody Rhodes, if you want to call it that. But every man for himself, and JBL pointed that out. Also, as awesome as this was to see this live, and as awesome as it was to rewatch it, it's the last time that anybody would ever care about Damian Sandow. And I just got kicked off alive, so. Okay, and I'm back live. Well, 3, 2, 1, and I'm back live. I just got kicked off. Facebook Live, I'm back, y'all. For some reason, my phone kicked me off, and I'm going to keep going. Technical difficulties or not. So, I made Cody my match MVP for that. That was a 3 rating. Ladder matches are kind of hard to rate because, I mean, they're basically just spot fest. I'm parched. They're basically just spot fest. So that was a 3 rating. Brad Modex had a segment which was basically to make fun of Vicky Guerrero, which was a waste of time. And if y'all watch my videos, y'all know how much I absolutely despise segments on pay-per-views. This is not Raw, this is not SmackDown. This segment accomplished nothing, it did nothing, and it was completely pointless. Alright, so we go on to Miz versus Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental title. And poor Curtis Axel, man. It's really sad to still be considered bland, even with Paul Heyman as your manager. And that's just my opinion. I mean, whether other people feel that way about Curtis Axel is your own opinion. But I've always thought Curtis Axel was a great, accomplished wrestler. Obviously, it's in his blood. His father, Kurt Hennig, so his grandfather was a professional wrestler as well. One of the things that annoyed me about this match was the announcers were basically saying that Miz was at a disadvantage because of the Paul Heyman factor, which really makes Curtis Axel look weak. I mean, I understand Paul Heyman is his manager. I understand that they were in Philadelphia. EC-Dub, Paul Heyman's from Philadelphia. I get all that, but to say that really makes your champion look weak. But then they recovered from that because Miz used the classic Eddie Guerrero spot where referee had his back turned. Miz was standing in front of Paul Heyman. He clapped his hands together and made it seem like Heyman hit him, and Heyman got banned from ringside. Since then, the match was pretty much back and forth. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, Curtis Axel is a really good wrestler. One of my favorite sequences I enjoyed was Curtis Axel went for the perfect flex. That got countered into the figure 4, which got countered into Miz going to the post, which then got caught with the perfect flex, which of course Miz kicked out because we can't establish the perfect flex as a finisher for some fucking reason. Then Axel would use that, I don't know what he called it. I know he called it the McGillicuddy when he was, when his name was McGillicuddy. But he used that maneuver, which was like a neck breaker, which turns into like an RKO cutter type move, and Axel went over. I gave that match a 3.2. Axel is a great wrestler. It's just he has no charisma at all. Like he's like a step above Lance Storm in a charismatic department. Now, next we have AJ Lee defending the Divas title against Caitlyn. And then after that, we had Jericho and Ryback. But I'm gonna skip Jericho and Ryback, and I'm gonna do AJ Lee and Caitlyn, and I'm gonna do Ziggler and Del Rio kind of together, because these are 2 rematches that happened following a prior pay-per-view. They both wrestled at Payback prior to this pay-per-view. So I'm gonna talk about the differences between those 2 matches, with both matches. So AJ Lee versus Caitlyn. Definitely not as good as their match at Payback. They do have chemistry together. They have the whole David versus Goliath chemistry type feel, which AJ, I guess, is like that in a lot of her matches because she's usually the smallest diva in the match. That bridged hammerlock, from a sexual standpoint, because I'm a guy, it looked hot. Also, from a wrestling scientific standpoint, it was very strategic. because Caitlyn had injured her arm somehow during a spear on the SmackDown prior. Um, One alarming thing about this match that just irked me to all high hell was the ending. Because I don't remember which arm it was, whether it was the right or the left elbow that was injured. But AJ applied the Black Widow on the elbow that didn't have the pad on it. And now this is something I didn't notice watching it live, but I watched it back and I was screaming like, "Oh my god, it's the wrong arm!" Like, why? And I don't know whether it was because the way you apply the Black Widow, it goes to a certain arm, but they should have thought that shit through, man. Because how are you gonna apply the Black Widow to the arm that isn't injured and expect the viewer watching it to believe that, oh man, that's the same injured arm. She must be really hurt. So Caitlyn tapped out. That was a 2.9. I'm gonna skip over Jericho and Ryback. I'm gonna go back to it. And I'm talking about Ziggler and Del Rio. Ziggler and Del Rio damn near was as good as the match at Payback. It wasn't as good though because of the ending, because AJ's crazy ass. The video package for this match was really good. The video package for Cena Mark Henry was good too. I'll get to Mark Henry Cena later. I just want to say Del Rio has the absolute prettiest insecurity I've ever seen in my life. I mean, Jericho used it as a finish in 04. Jericho's was really good, but Del Rio is so crisp every time he hits it. I absolutely love it. Also, Ziggler has this move where he does like a stinger splash, and so he attempted that, and Del Rio moved out of the way, and Ziggler took that buckle hard. I mean, that was a hard sound. And one thing I really love about Dolph Ziggler is his passion to every match that he has. That guy wrestles every match like he is at WrestleMania. I mean, the bumps that he takes are absolutely stupid, ridiculous sometimes, but they're awesome. And you could tell that he is truly passionate about what he does, because he approaches... it's hard to describe. He approaches every match like it's his last, really. He had an X Factor from the top rope that was really cool. Then it was a reverse suplex from Del Rio on Ziggler that looked pretty good. That was after AJ Lee came out and skipped around. And the ending of this match really pissed me off. Not from a mark standpoint, but from a logical standpoint. And this is what brings this match down from the match at Payback. Because you already had the interference from AJ as is, right? So then the match ends with Del Rio in the corner, right? Del Rio is like stomping his foot, or he pulls up his knee pad to expose a metal knee brace as he's setting up for the super kick, the basement super kick, because Ziggler already kicked out of one. And as he's exposing his knee brace, I'm wondering, wait a second, how is exposing his knee brace going to make the super kick that much more effective? Like, how does that improve upon the impact of a super kick, especially when it's your heel hitting them? So that didn't make sense. Then AJ got in the ring and hit Del Rio with the Divas title and caused a disqualification, which not even AJ's crazy gimmick could cover how dumb that was. Because you had to know that by interfering would cause a disqualification. So why would you purposely cause your boyfriend the World Heavyweight title? That makes absolutely no sense to me. And JBL made that same point that I just made. But as JBL is making that point, I'm like, wait a minute, JBL. Weren't you cheering AJ, I almost called her AJ Styles. I knew it was going to happen at least once in this video. But I was like, I'm thinking in my head, in the AJ Lee Caitlyn match, JBL was on AJ's side. But then JBL throws a bitch fit when AJ interferes and causes the disqualification. Oh, she just ruined a great world championship match we were enjoying and da-da-da-da. JBL, pick a side. And I didn't pay enough attention to JBL to notice that he was doing this shit then. Because I know he's doing this shit now on Raw, and it's pissing me off. So, AJ Lee and Caitlyn got a 2.9. Ziggler and Del Rio got a 3.4. Despite the AJ Lee stuff and the ending that made no sense, it was still a fantastic match up to that point. Now, compared to their matches at Payback, I gotta say that their matches at Payback were better. It's just when you have magic, you can't always recreate it, and it's the same thing with like movie sequels. You got one movie and it's a classic, and then you try to make a remake of it, and it just comes off as you relying on your success from the first film. Um, which is why Independence Day this year is not something I'm looking forward to go seeing because the first one was such a classic. All right, so I'm gonna jump back to Jericho and Ryback. This was pretty uneventful, to be honest with you. I gave this a 3. Um, this was really uneventful. I mean, and I'm a Jericho fan. I usually enjoy what Jericho does, but this match, the reason why this match was uneventful to me because it didn't really have much of a build to it. It was kind of no reason for it happening. It was kind of just a match that they put together. Like they had a segment like a month before Money in the Bank, and then they just decided to have this match at Money in the Bank. The military press into the shell shock attempt was really good. Um, the ending I didn't like when I was there live, but when I watched it back, I understood it more. So Jericho goes for the lion salt. Ryback moves out of the way, and then Ryback gives him a schoolboy and rolls him up for the 3. And the announcers really put over the fact that, man, Ryback was really putting all his strength, all 291 pounds into that schoolboy, and Jericho wasn't able to kick out. Watching it live, I didn't like it, but watching it back, it made sense because Jericho was already off balance from the missed lion salt. So that alone, then the schoolboy, and plus Ryback being 291 pounds of pressure, pinning Jericho makes sense there. So we go from that. I already covered Ziggler and Del Rio. We go to Cena, Mark Henry, and this match, watching it live, bored me to death. Damn near put me to sleep, to be honest with you. And watching it back just pissed me off to all high hell. I mean, and what's funny is this may have been Mark Henry's loudest pop ever that I have ever heard. And I was there, mind you, so being in that atmosphere was just amazing. I just found myself cheering for Mark Henry. But I realized, as I was watching it back today, I don't know, is it really, is it really that Mark Henry is getting a pop? Or is Cena hated that much? And then when Cena came out and I heard the overwhelming boos, I realized, yeah, maybe Cena is just really hated that much. So, anyway, this match was basically Mark Henry whooping John Cena's ass. But it wasn't even like a fast-paced ass whooping. It was like Mark Henry slowly walking around the ring and just throwing Cena around. And there was a front reverse suplex into the steel steps that looked good. I'm sure it didn't feel good. Henry did his chocolate mousse spot. I think that's what it's called. That's what I've heard it called before, where a dude's neck is like up against the second rope and Henry jumps through the second rope with your neck compressed onto the middle rope. That happened. Another thing that pissed me off about this match is why did they downplay Cena's strength? Like, prior to this, okay, we've seen Cena lift the Big Show. We've seen Cena lift Viscera. We've seen Cena lift the Big Show and Edge at WrestleMania 25, which was about 800 pounds at least. Oh yeah, and he's lifted Mark Henry before. But in this match and in the build to this match, they downplayed Cena's strength like a motherfucker. Like, I don't understand. Like, Cena would eventually get the attitude adjustment on Mark Henry. And then Mark Henry, of course, would kick out. And then Mark Henry would get the world's strongest slam on Cena. And then Cena would kick out. Because kicking out of finishers is what they do on pay-per-view for the WWE for some reason. Because finishers don't mean shit nowadays, do they? Oh, God. So, Mark Henry would lose this match by submission, which makes no sense. I mean, Mark Henry was just tossing John Cena around the ring like he was a little child. So then, if you're able to do that, why wouldn't you be able to break out of the STFU? That just pissed me off to all high hell. It's true. So we go to the main event. Our main event was a All-Star Money in the Bank ladder match with RVD, Christian, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Orton, and Sheamus. Wait, Christian. What? Let me look at my notes here. I was there live, but okay, yeah, Christian's in this match. This is not like a shit on Christian fest or anything, but in what way is Christian an all-star? I mean, let's look at everybody else's stats here, or accomplishments prior to this match. RVD is a former Money in the Bank winner, former WWE champion. CM Punk is the only two-time Money in the Bank winner, the only two-time consecutive Money in the Bank winner, multi-time WWE champion, including a 430-plus day reign. Daniel Bryan, Money in the Bank winner, former World Heavyweight champion, also on the hottest streak of his career at this point. Orton, I think at this point he was a 10-time WWE champion. Well, mixtures of World and WWE titles. And Sheamus, multi-time World champion. So, Christian had experience. He had the most Money in the Bank matches under his belt out of anybody in this match. He was a 2-time World Heavyweight champion. He was the ECW champion too. I'm just playing. ECW title doesn't count. But his 2 title wins were measly. The first one lasted a few days. The second one was via disqualification, which lasted a month. So, again, not trying to shit on Christian, but in what way is he an all-star? I feel like they just needed somebody to put in this match, so they put Christian. Kane was originally supposed to be in this match, but Kane got took out by the Wyatt family on the Raw prior, on the go-home Raw. So, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't write a lot during this match because I was eating, but I did write down the key spots in this match that I found to be really cool. But this wasn't really a cool spot. I critique it all the time. I hate it. Oh, by the way, Cena and Mark Henry got a 2.7. Back to the Money in the Bank match. I've always hated Orton's T-bone suplex. I still think Orton has the sloppiest T-bone suplex I have ever seen in my life. And it was even worse when he hit it on Punk, which Punk landed on a ladder. It sucks to be CM Punk. It really sucks to be CM Punk, and I'll explain why later on. The RKO out of nowhere, that is not just a gimmick, that is for real. Orton has this uncanny ability to literally hit an RKO out of nowhere. And Orton out of nowhere is ironic because I'm going to talk about that later on too. See, I'm setting shit up. Orton hit an RKO and RVD. Try to say that 3 times fast. Orton swatted RVD's feet underneath him, and simultaneously as he did that, it's hard to explain. Like, he swatted his foot and then caught him with an RKO in midair, and it was the sickest thing I'd ever seen. I mean, it's on the Evan Bourne level or the Seth Rollins level of RKOs. Sheamus crashing through a ladder. Sheamus had set this ladder up and bridged it across the announce table and the security wall, or it might have been the apron and the security wall. And he tried to powerbomb Daniel Bryan through it. Daniel Bryan got out of it. Sheamus jumped over the ladder to avoid going through it. Then Daniel Bryan jumped over the ladder with a flying knee. But then Sheamus would find himself going through that ladder because thanks to Daniel Bryan, and that shit happened right in front of me. And when I saw that, I mean right in front of me, like from where I am to maybe where the end of my coffee table is, which you guys can't see because the camera's facing towards me. But seeing that shit live fucked me up. Because I knew as soon as Sheamus hit, he was done. He was legit hurt. I just knew. Because I was right there and I saw all the medical team go over there and rush to him. Oh, and they let me pick up the ladder at the end of the show. That was kind of cool. So, yeah, that happened. Fans were chanting, "We want tables." You ungrateful son of a bitch. Stop chanting for tables. You're getting a great ladder match with 6 capable men in it, so stop being greedy. That pissed me off. RVD hit a frog splash on Christian, which, if anybody remembers, and I immediately thought of this when I watched it live, this was a callback to their ladder match that happened on Raw, like years ago, for the Intercontinental title, where RVD did that same spot, hit a fall splash on Christian. Um, the main story coming out of this match, which I think took away from the match a little bit, but it was necessary for this to happen. Remember how I said it would suck to be CM Punk? Well, yeah. Well, first off, let's back up. So Curtis Axel interferes in this match. Daniel Bryan at this point is on fire. Daniel Bryan is fucking people up. Excuse me. Daniel Bryan decides to go batshit crazy and beat up everyone in the match. That's when Sheamus went through the ladder that was bridged. So Daniel Bryan's on fire. He climbs the ladder. And maybe this was like a storyline angle that I missed or what. But Curtis Axel comes out and stops Daniel Bryan from climbing the ladder. And I was confused watching live. And of course, I still was confused watching it back again because I didn't understand why Curtis Axel would interfere to spite Daniel Bryan. Like, that didn't make sense to me. Unless it was just a way to get Axel out there so that Punk can give him the GTS on the outside of the ring. And my connection is weakening on my Facebook Live, so if I go out, I apologize. I'll go ahead and restart the video again for Facebook Live. On my laptop, it's continuous. So Punk hits the GTS on Curtis Axel to take him out. Paul Heyman comes out and gives him a tongue lashing. And then the inevitable betrayal of to Punk from Paul Heyman happens when Heyman shoves the ladder in the back of Punk's back twice and then shoves the ladder into his head, which splits Punk all kind of open. I mean, Punk was just red. That was disgusting. So Heyman turns on Punk, which we saw that coming because we knew that Brock and Punk were going to fight at SummerSlam. So then after that happens, the RKO I told you about earlier happens, and Randy Orton climbs the ladder and wins the briefcase. Now, the reason why I said that this was out of nowhere, pun intended, was because Randy Orton was pretty irrelevant at this point. And, you know, Daniel Bryan, as I mentioned, was on a hot streak, and I picked Daniel Bryan to win this match. Like I said, I knew Punk wasn't going to win it because Punk we knew Punk was going to be with Brock. And it just wouldn't make sense to get Punk the briefcase heading into that feud with Brock. RVD was just returning. I just didn't see him winning. Christian? Nope. And Sheamus didn't seem like it would be a good reason for him to win it. So I was counting on Daniel Bryan to win. And Orton was just kind of a non-factor to me. I kind of put Orton in the Sheamus department of, yeah, he's not going to win it. He's just kind of there. But when Orton won it, it was like kind of out of nowhere. And something else to note about this match is that everybody in this match were faces. They were all good guys. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Sheamus got a little bit of heat for beating up Daniel Bryan, but besides that, everyone in the match were faces. So that was interesting, and I'm pretty sure that's the only time in history where a Money in the Bank match where all participants were faces. I don't think that's ever happened before. But yeah, so Orton wins, and we all know what would eventually happen with Randy Orton. Orton would cash in on Daniel Bryan a month later and become the WWE champion, starting this heel run. And then Damien Sandow would attempt to cash in on John Cena on an episode of Raw and lose. And his career would go down a downward spiral until he would become Damien Mizdow. And then that got over for a while. And then that, for some reason, stopped. I don't remember why it stopped, but it did. And then he decided to pretend to be Macho Man Randy Savage for whatever reason. And then Curtis Axel was pretending to be Hulk Hogan. And then Hogan said the N-word, and then that angle got dealt with. That angle ended. And then he got fired. So that was Damian Sandow's career after winning the Money in the Bank. I think he's like the worst example of what could happen post Money in the Bank success. But after rating and reviewing all the matches, I averaged everything out, and I came out to a 3.1. Um, my live experience obviously was better than my viewing experience. And, you know, if you've never been to a WWE event, you need to go. And whether it's a house show, whether it's a televised event, whether it's a pay per view, you need to go. Because even if you're not a wrestling fan, you will have a good time. I guarantee you will. Quick backstory: my mom took me to my first WWE event ever that I went to live was Monday Night Raw, and 2005. It was the Battle of the Bands between Fozzy and, well, Cena's band, but Fozzy never showed up, or whatever. Anyway, that was my first WWE event ever. And my mom was not a wrestling fan. But during that show, my mom was chanting Kurt Angle sucks. My mom was into it. And she's not a fan. So it just goes to show. You don't gotta be a fan to have a good time and to really enjoy yourself. And if you want to talk about atmosphere, there is nothing like the atmosphere of being in Philadelphia when RVD's music hit. It was just like an eruption of which I have never felt before. And the closest thing that I've ever gotten to that, which actually this might have exceeded it, was when Shane McMahon came back this year in Detroit, which I was there live for. I was there live for that. Yeah, that was amazing. And the next show that I'm going to do, my next episode is going to be tonight when I review Money in the Bank 2016. But after that, this is just a series of episodes where I'm doing shows that I was there live for. So I'm probably going to do that Raw from '05. I went to a SmackDown in '07 that I'm going to review if I ever find the footage from that show to watch it again. They just added all the 2005 episodes of Raw. So I'm going to go back and watch that so I can review it for you. But the next show I'm going to do is Royal Rumble 2014. And you want to talk about an atmosphere. I will be surprised if Pittsburgh ever gets a pay-per-view again. Because, and I don't want to give too much away on this video for that, but those fans, me included, shitted on that entire show. And so I'm going to do that show, and I'm also going to do TLC 2014, which was in Cleveland, which I was also there live for. So these next episodes that I'm going to bring to you are all shows that I have actually been there for, but never actually watched. So this completes, yes, Jay, the SmackDown in question was at Cavelli Center, and it was in 2007. I think the main event for that was, I want to say, Ric Flair versus the Great Khali. And then that was also the ECW taping, too, where we had the 15 Minutes of Fame. So, yeah, that was at Cavelli. So this has been episode 26, man. As far as shows that I was live at, I was at Fastlane as well, and I'll post a link to my Fastlane video in case you want to watch that. But anyway, I've been Warren Freeman. It's been real. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'm about to clean my apartment and get it ready for Money in the Bank because I'm about to have a party. Also, if you want to know my Money in the Bank predictions for tonight, that's also in my videos. That's episode 24. So go back and check that out if you want to see my predictions. Find out if I'm right. I'm looking forward to tonight's event. I'm looking forward to reviewing it. And I am also I'm just looking forward to tonight. I mean, Money in the Bank is such an exciting pay-per-view for me. It's one of my favorites. It might have overtaken Backlash as my favorite pay-per-view since Backlash no longer exists. But I'm Warren. It's been real. I'm out. You guys have a wonderful evening. And, before I go, for anyone who has an Xbox One, the WWE Network has been acting very glitchy. So, make sure you have an alternate streaming device if you're going to watch Money in the Bank tonight. All right? Okay. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'm out.